fans, and welcome to another episode of Screaming Titans, the vlog series where a bunch of girls scream about Attack on Titan. Sorry, you started to lose it. Tripped me up. Anyway, I'm Megan Salinas.
I'm Katie Collins.
And tonight we are talking about episode 63, From One Hand to Another. Yeah, no,
sure, this was a title.
I mean, like, that was a title. There was one moment where one person handed something to someone else at different points in time, so...
I feel like they either just went, that one, we picked that moment, or they just dartboarded this. Like, I'm sure this is supposed to be very poetic and have lots of meaning, but honestly, there have been better titles.
Well, and honestly, also, I don't think we ever used to dissect the titles. I think we would just be like, okay, this is the thing, we have 30 minutes to get through this, go, 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 go.
I don't think well, this one is particularly just like...
Well, anyway, first of all, housekeeping. If this is your first episode of our vlog series,
hi!
Yes, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are keeping our discussion only to episode 63 of the anime and everything that came before it. We are not discussing manga spoilers. We might speculate on like, oh, maybe that was a thing in the manga.
Do not confirm or deny when we do.
Please, please, please keep our comment section manga spoiler free and spoiler free for the rest of the anime because we're catching up. We're catching up. Just please, please, please don't be that guy. Don't try to be clever. Don't do any of that stuff. Come on, just be cool. No spoilers.
Yeah, and yeah, just don't try to be clever. Don't be like, oh, well, it's, and then leave a hint or something, because there's always going to be someone more clever than you are, and a lot of times it's us, so you wind up spoiling people even though you don't think you are. So just be kind and respectful to us and to other people in the comments, and just don't even leave spoilers or hints at all, because if you do, you're going to get banned.
And per usual for this season of Attack on Titan in particular, this season delves into some pretty heavy subject matter with some very, very distinct and obvious real-world parallels, and we are here to say that we are not necessarily qualified to talk about those real-world parallels in any particular way. So if we mess up or drop the ball, please bear with us. We're trying our best. We just want to talk about Attack on Titan.
We're not experts. We're just talking about, and, you know, warnings for the usual stuff, the heavy, heavy racism, and the fact that these are child soldiers, among other things. Like, if you've seen the show, you know what you're getting into. But if you haven't seen the show and you're just here to watch us talk for some reason, awesome, hi, welcome. And that's going to be some of the subject matter we cover, because Jesus Christ, this show.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this season. Thank you guys for sticking with us. So, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. What did you think? Because this is one of those,
this is a bridge episode.
Yeah, where nothing explosive happened. There were no huge revelations like in the last
Just
episode.
that bit at the end.
Yeah.
The post-credits surprise bitch, bet you thought you'd seen the last of me, was, so good. Just chef kiss.
For a bridge episode, though, I do feel like a lot happened. We got to see some really, really great character interactions.
Yeah.
And on the whole, for it being an episode where we're in progress from getting from point A to point B, I feel like this really delivered.
Yeah, this is definitely more of a world building. We are fleshing things out. Here's this family that we mentioned. They have the missing Titan that threw off our numbers. Can we count the Titans? No.
Clearly we
no,
can't.
We're not good at that, evidently. But that was also before we knew Ymir had been summarily executed, which was depressing.
She deserved better.
Oh my god, she deserves so much better. Poor woman. So we got the introduction to the family. We got why would you have your children be staffers at a dinner? Why would you not be able to hire like actual wait staff? Question mark. But okay. Like, we got a lot here, but a lot of it just felt like, was this episode only 10 minutes long? I felt like it was only 10 minutes long. Why? Like, it's one of those really weird ones. We've come to expect so much from Attack on Titan just in terms of action and things going nuts that when they don't, we sit here and go, wait, it's over? Already?
Well, for you say that, it did feel like it was a very quick episode. That being said, I have a wall of text on the whiteboard.
You also wrote down a number of very long quotes word for word, so that's on you.
Yes.
You did not format this well.
Like, I when it comes to doing notes for certain shows, I've gotten really good at, like, bullet points, depending on the structure of the episode. This one... it was not, it did a little jumping back and forth, and so my notes are less organized as a result of
your
that.
Ruby notes are very different from your Titan notes.
Yes.
Extremely.
But that being said, do we want to talk about this episode? Because, like...
Yes, that's why we're here.
No. But I mean, like... Story-wise, is there anything else overall you want to touch on? All right, cool. Let's talk about Aaron's role in this episode, because it actually is fairly succinct. Like I said, they just kind of jump. Yeah.
Much.
In the middle too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but so that's what I mean is, like, we can, unlike my disorganized notes, we can actually break this down into 3 distinct brackets. We can talk about
the buns in this Big Mac. There's one at the beginning, one at the middle, and one in the middle.
Yeah, we've got
at the end.
We've got Aaron and his whole particular storyline. We have the Tiber family and Magath, Commander Magath, whatever that guy. Yeah,
that guy.
Whatever that guy. And then we have basically all the Titan shifters and all the warriors in training and, like, their stuff going on, and festival prep and all that stuff. So let's talk about Aaron first, because I feel like that's the most
bookends.
It's the most straightforward. It's the straightest line through the episode.
Here, child I have befriended, please go outside the internment zone to send these letters so they don't get looked at.
Oh, Falco, you sweet summer child.
Like, oh, buddy.
Oh,
buddy.
Like, on the one hand, you look at Aaron and you're like, come on, man, what are you doing? But at the same time, we already know his story. We know what's up.
We've been in Aaron's head for 3 seasons now. Like, we kind of know where he is at this point. And I would not be surprised if it's, hey, all of these people want us murdered. There's nothing wrong with me using a small child in order to.
I'm really hoping that having infiltrated the internment zone for a little bit, their overall goal will be less, well, time to stick it to the people who forced us into isolation, and more, we gotta dismantle this whole system.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to just, like, we're gonna fight for the sake of fighting. Or, like, you hit us, so I'm gonna hit you back. It's gonna be more like, oh, people over here are screwed too.
I mean,
let's dismantle the system.
With Levi and Hanji involved, it's going to be much higher concept than you hit us, we hit you back.
Yeah.
Let's be completely real. If it was just Eren and Mikasa, it might be that. Levi, Hanji, and Armin is the big one there. That's our strategy brain. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's a little bit more, like, wider scope of, like, oh hey, we should try to make it so that Eldians aren't used as, like, weapons of war from now on.
Maybe Marley needs to sit down.
But anyway, so yeah, Eren, whatever ultimately they're planning, he's using Falco to get messages to and from what we can presume is the rest of the crew.
Yeah. So he's using Falco to send these letters because he's made friends with a small child who's like, I've made friends with this person. It's great.
Yep. And so then we check back in with them a little bit more, and Falco's talking to him, and he's like, oh, did your family send you that? Because Eren actually has a baseball glove and a baseball, which...
For some ungodly reason.
Well, he says that, like, oh, they sent it to me. They thought, like, he says his family sent it to him. They thought, like, it might cheer me up. But, like, I'm not really going to be playing with anybody or anything like that. I'm not really in any shape to play. I just think it's interesting because it's very clear that Zeke himself has a knack
for baseball.
A knack for it for sure. And so yeah, I think that's interesting of like, oh, runs in the family, I guess.
The Yeet Titan.
But you know, as they're chit-chatting, speaking of it running in the family, Dr. Yeager walks out after Falco decides to hit the road. And Yeager, aka Aaron's grandpa,
My grandson is a Titan.
My grandson is a Titan shifter. Can your grandson turn into a Titan?
Depends on who you're talking to.
But yeah, so Dr. Yeager and Aaron have a little chit chat.
Both of his grandsons are Titan shifters.
Both of my grandsons are Titans.
Even the one I didn't know I had.
But yeah, so
Google my grandson is a warlock.
it's delightful. But yeah, so these two, you know, sit down and have a little chat. And we haven't really had much development from Grisha's parents, just that they had no desire to rebel, that when their daughter was murdered, they very much caved into the pressure the police were putting on to like, hey, maybe just don't go outside the gate and things won't happen. Because they knew there was nothing they could do.
Yep.
And rather than join a revolutionary movement out of fear for what they had left, they basically sold out their son. You know, when Zeke came across the information that he got from his parents, he told his grandparents, and they sold out Grisha and his wife to protect themselves and Zeke. Probably, if I were to venture a guess, it was probably mostly for Zeke, but let's also not pretend that fear for their own lives wasn't a factor. But as he points out, like, hey, don't ask that kid to do you favors anymore, because his uncle was a revolutionary. And when that happens, no one in that person's family is spared. They all go to the island as Titans. And so in order to protect his family, Falco and his brother signed up for the warrior program. And it was only after his brother got selected to succeed the Beast Titan that they knew they were in the clear.
Yeah.
So, yikes.
And then Dr. Yeager kind of departs from reality for a little bit. He's not doing well. He's still, you know, a little bit traumatized from when his daughter died, and then you just continue on down that path.
Yeah.
And, evidently he's not supposed to go walking alone. So then the question becomes, is he a doctor here, or is he another patient?
If he's a doctor, he clearly doesn't practice anymore, because the answer in that moment was he's a patient, because even they don't refer to him as Dr. Yeager in that moment. They're like Mr. Yeager, so he hasn't practiced in quite a while by the look of it.
Yeah.
But it's really sad. I mean, this is a tragic moment because it's the revelation that he blames himself for literally everything. He's like, it's my fault my daughter's dead, it's my fault that happened to my son, and everything that followed, it's all on me, and that caused him to have a breakdown to the point where, he's literally screaming in his chair without the help of his attendants. And Aaron just looks at this and goes, huh.
Well, here's the thing. This wasn't for Aaron's benefit. This was for the benefit of the audience.
Yeah.
This was absolutely for the, I don't know if it's quite defined as dramatic irony. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. That the audience knows the familiar relationship here, and neither of the characters do. So
I disagree.
You think
Aaron wholeheartedly knows because he has his father's memories.
Oh, that's true.
He has his father's memories.
That's true. All right,
he knows.
That's a good point.
It's not. It's completely understandable to forget that little tidbit because they were inaccessible to him for so long. But yeah,
I still say that this scene is mostly for the audience's benefit.
Well, and he also introduces himself as Yeager, so
yeah,
Aaron can put two and two together.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is mostly for the audience's benefits. Aaron's also been here for a little while, so he might have, like, he and Jaeger might have actually had multiple run-ins with each other at this point.
This being for the audience's benefit is mostly, for one, the only time we've ever seen him in flashbacks when he capitulated, sold out his son, etc. And then in just that hot second where they welcome Zeke home. So this is showing the audience, like, yeah, you remember them as doing all these things that were awful, but they're also victims here. There are no winners. It's humanizing the Fire Nation, as it were. Yeah. It's very much driving home the point that, like, yeah, we're using Eldians as demons to destroy and whatever, but also they are massively victims here, you guys. Like,
yeah.
Yikes.
I have to wonder what Aaron's been through the last couple of years, because again, he hears his grandpa tell this very, very sad story and has basically no emotional reaction to it. And granted, he's undercover, but like, he is stone-faced.
Makes me wonder if he actually did serve in the army as an enlisted Eldian.
Maybe. How deep his cover goes is a question I don't think we're going to be privy to.
Can he regrow that leg?
He'll be fine.
What are we doing, buddy?
He'll be fine.
Oh no, I just find it really interesting.
He'll be fine. But yeah, that kind of wraps that up. I think that, like, he's gotten very good at playing his part, so if there is, like, emotions at play there, he's doing a great job of, like, which I think actually illustrates some interesting character development for him, because Aaron, along with a lot of other characters in their youth, were very much like, we wear our hearts on our sleeves. Aaron Yeager, like, I'm gonna headbutt the problem until it goes away.
Aaron, I will destroy every Titan, Yeager.
Exactly.
And now we have Reiner, who can't keep a straight face for anything.
Yeah.
And Aaron, who's just like, nah.
Who's like...
We have Reiner, who is 1,000% done with life, the universe, and everything, and we have Aaron, who's like, alright, let's fucking go.
Yeah. So basically, the night of the festival, Falco, he convinces Falco to bring Reiner down to
him underground.
In a basement, yeah, and like in a manner very similar to the way they cornered Annie, or they attempted to corner Annie, only... They actually...
Annie was too smart for that. Reiner is burned out.
He's burned out, and he has no reason to mistrust Falco.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's where the episode ends of like, oh, just, hey, it's been 4 years, how's it going?
Again, very much, surprise, bitch. Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. And poor Reiner just like, oh, no.
Just like, oh, Aaron, hey!
Just one of those like... Well, this is my life today. Like, this is gonna be my whole night, isn't
Probably wasn't expecting to ever see Aaron in this particular set of circumstances.
Like, I was gonna come see you!
I was coming to visit you! You came to visit me first!
To me! Shit!
That's so sweet!
Yeah. So this was the point where I went... This entire fucking season's gonna take place over one night, isn't it? And I don't know if that's the case, but given that we have this given the other story beats that are happening simultaneous to this, and this reveal right now, like, Titan is not unaccustomed to, what if we devote 12 episodes to less than 3 hours of time? So... yeah, this is, I would not be surprised if all of this, like, if from here until maybe the second to the last episode, and probably part of the last episode, if all of that took place over the span of one night. Maybe 2 if we're lucky, but yeah.
I could absolutely see it going that way, because a lot of the major battle arcs also take place within the course of an afternoon. But
we went from finding the Beast Titan to finding out who the Colossal and Armored Titans were to the chase scene to... Woof. That was all one season.
But...
That was all one day.
I would also kind of disagree. Not that I disagree, because like I Titan has a precedent for doing that.
Oh, there's potential for both ways.
Yeah.
I'm just betting on this one.
If I were to place my money, I would actually probably go the other way, in that I don't think the things that happen next are going to be all comprised in one night. I think what we're about to see happen is Aaron and Reiner actually sit down and have a conversation.
Oh yeah. No,
But,
like I do think that's gonna happen, but I'm pretty sure this is like the last domino to fall. I am sure that there are other things in motion.
Yeah.
And we have to keep in mind that not only do we have Armin's strategic genius, but he's also the new colossal
Yeah.
titan.
But, like I said, I think we're about to have a conversation, and I think that conversation might amount to things need to change. And they're going to change whether you like them or not, but maybe we can work something out, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's the route the show is going to go, and then what happens over the course of however long. It doesn't necessarily have to be all smooshed into one night. Given the amount of, like, world building going on and everything like that, I don't know if we're having, like, a big bombastic fight, be the central focus of the remainder of the season. I almost called it a volume. I feel like there's going to be...
are in Ruby mode.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of world building and a lot of planning. And I do think there is going to be a big showdown between Eren and the Warhammer Titan. How all the rest of that is going to go out, I don't know. And don't tell us.
Yeah, no.
We don't want to know. No. That's why we're watching the show.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a lot of our, this is what the other side is figuring out, this is what we're building up to, in flashback. But I'm still going to stake it on, yeah, we're going to get a whole lot of shit happening over the next, 4 hours.
That's fair. It's fair. Again, Titan has a precedent for that.
Anyway,
but
back to Willie.
So yeah, that's basically Aaron's side of the story. He is the bread pieces of the sandwich.
He is the buns in this Big Mac, because there's one in the middle.
The patty is the Tiber family. Like
2 patties.
Yes.
Have you never had a Big Mac?
Not in a long time. I usually get the fillet of fish.
It's the
Or
top
chicken
bun
nuggets.
and the middle bun and the bottom bun, and it's got 2 patties and 2 cheese and lettuce and onion and special sauce.
I don't like 2 patty burgers. I just like 1 big patty.
Yeah, well, this is McDonald's.
Yeah. Anyway, point being, the real meat of the episode is the Tiber family and the world building that comes with that. And we are introduced to we got introduced
Willie.
to the concept of them a couple episodes ago. And we know that they are a very affluent family and that they possess the Warhammer Titan and have basically washed their hands of a lot of the goings on within. But they're a very influential family.
Yeah, the Warhammer Titan does not go to war with everyone else. That doesn't happen.
What this episode establishes is, maybe they haven't really washed their hands of everything because...
The Tiber family is the shadow government.
Yeah, Magath insinuates that basically the Tiber family controls everything that goes on with Marley. And I don't know if that's true.
I mean, Willie straight up says, oh yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's just weird.
I appreciate that for all of this we had, I think we've gone down the wrong route. Well, we let you guys have freedom and choice and y'all fucked it up. Basically, the Tiber family decided they wanted to be the cool parents and let their kids do whatever. And by their kids, I mean the entire country of Marley. And Marley went, what if we just go to war a lot? And now the Tiber family's looking at this like...
Well,
oh God, I fucked up. I'm not a good parent.
Way to screw everything. It's that it's the parent who gave their kid every possible advantage and the kid still screwed up.
Well, and no discipline. It's
the
parent who wanted to be their friend instead of their parent. And so just kind of let them do whatever, and that's not good for a kid.
No.
That's actually shitty parenting.
It's even worse when it's a nation.
And we hear from Willie a little further down that, like, none of my ancestors wanted to grab the wheel. None of them wanted to take responsibility for this. And then it came to me, and I did. And oh God, I wish I could let go, but I can't.
Yeah, and considering that, like, he's the shadow controller of the government, I actually really appreciate, like, the nuance, assuming he doesn't do, like, a complete and total face turn in the next couple episodes of just being a mustache twirly villain. I appreciate the nuance that they put into his characterization here, where even though we've only known him for a literal minute, like, it shows that he's not just mwahahaha evil for the sake of being evil. It's like, yeah, no, something has to be done about all of this.
And I mean, the first thing he does when we're introduced to him is he greets Magath, he brings him in, he introduces them to the family without ever actually giving anybody any names. It's just, lol, the family. And then out on the balcony, it's, well, you've been in charge of the Titan candidate program for a while. Which one of us is the Warhammer Titan? Can you tell? And Magath just gives this, honestly, no, I can't.
Oh.
It's like, all right, legit. So we're sitting here going, odds are, just from screenwriting, it's Willie because he's the only one with a name, lines, screen time, a personality. But they also introduced this, like, stupidly tall guard right at the beginning.
Like, this guard who's, like, as tall as
7 feet tall.
He's, like, as tall as the Resident Evil vampire lady that everybody fell in love with.
Nah, that's a 9-footer. He's
Yeah, did you see how tall this guy was? He was, like, 2 heads above Magath, at least. Magath came up to his torso.
Basically, he's probably about 7.5 feet tall.
Whatever, he's very tall.
He's very tall. So, as much as we're sitting here going, Willie is probably the Warhammer Titan, I think we'd both lose our shit if it was just that guy.
It would be so funny if it was just a random tall ass guy. That'd be incredible. Or if it was randomly one of the children. Who's just running around and screaming.
It's the Padme Amidala thing, where very rarely is she the one in the robes and the makeup. She's often acting as one of her handmaids, so that you never fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing. So, I would not be surprised if the guard is actually a member of the family. And just acting.
Maybe. But yeah, at the moment, Willie is the only one with a name, so...
Also, I'm dying that his name is Willie.
It's pretty great.
Just, again, Attack on Titan is either, like, spot on with their names, or threads random syllables together to a vaguely Western sounding name. Which, we've definitely gotten a few of those, you guys. I was thinking Peak was another one. But just, like, they've definitely done a few, like, reverse weeboo things. And done
that's fine.
That is fine. We're all guilty of that. But I appreciate that we just got, like, Willie, which is hilariously American sounding, of all things. And look, I still have Willy's Wonderland on the brain. I just still do.
See, I always
So
think
it's just Willie!
I always think of Groundskeeper Willie.
Regardless, it's one of those names that it's difficult to take seriously. So it's potential Warhammer Titan, head of the family, you know, probably the head of the shadow government. Most likely because of that whole speech about taking the wheel, and his name is Willie. It's just like, alright, okay. And I know that's not what you were going for, Titan, but god damn it.
It's pretty funny. Well, it's such a non-threatening name. That yeah, it's so normal and, like you said, Americanized that, like, just like, oh, hey, Will, how goes it?
Like, your name is probably William, but you went with Willie. Well, anyway.
I think part of that is he grew up in this very, very privileged family, all things considered, because of the power that they wield in the form of the Warhammer Titan. And so he grew up unlike everybody else, like in the internment zone and everything like that, unlike all other Eldians, he grew up actually, like, knowing and rubbing elbows with people from all over the world. And we see that a little later on. And so I think part of him going like, oh, please call me Willie, is to be like intentionally friendly.
True.
To be intentionally informal. To be like,
my father was Mr. Tiber.
Exactly.
Call me Willie.
I'm your friend. We're all friends here.
And he's got such a stupid high charisma score, he can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like this dude. Man.
But again, talking about his family, one of the things he talks about is he wanted to come out so he could see the statue of Helos, which is the Marleyan hero who defeated the Titans way back when.
But the thing is, part of the reason that he won was because the Tiber family defected and went to his side and helped him. Yeah. Which makes me wonder if the Warhammer Titan is not equal to most, if not all, of the rest of our Titan shifters. Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And probably why it's been in the back pocket until now.
The Warhammer Titan clearly was enough to turn the tide. And, yeah, to basically settle the fight at that point.
And that's why the Tiber family gets... Despite everything, like, despite being Eldian, they have the privilege, they have the wealth, they have all of that, and they basically get to step back and go, because way back when, we were on the winning side.
Yeah. It was only because of the Warhammer Titan that Marley was able to win. And...
Presumably.
Yeah, presumably. Again, this is all, like, question mark, citation needed.
History written by the winners.
Because one of the things that Willie says a little later on in the episode, too, is that the Marleyans were the most oppressed by the Eldian, by the Eldians in power, and that they then turned the tables. I'm willing to bet that that's not true.
I don't even know.
I don't know if he knows that that's not true, and I don't actually know if it's not true. But like you said, history's written by the winners. Right now, the story is Marleyans were the oppressed ones, and then with the help of the Warhammer Titan, they were able to overcome.
I kind of want to go back and rewatch the episode where they give us, like, the legend of Ymir.
Yeah.
And all of that, and show us that so we can kind of see, like, okay, obviously this is the only version of the story we have right now, but what does that say versus what we're seeing here? And again, what we may see later in the season. Because if there is another viewpoint to this, I doubt that Titan will let us go without seeing it.
If I'm remembering correctly, and I might not be, if I'm remembering correctly, there was no mention of the people with Titan abilities abusing their power. There was no mention of that in the story where we got the legend of Ymir. That being said, they might have just left it out for the purposes of that particular narrative. Or it could be that Marleyans were lying about what the actual history was. It could just be...
I'm gonna kind of go with that
Yeah,
one.
I lean towards that one too, of Marleyans just being like, we got it. We don't, like, they could turn on us at any moment. Warhammer Titan, are you on board?
Look, we as Americans have erased so much of our own history as it is that would we really be surprised to be like, oh hey, the people who are actively oppressing other people now have erased a lot of histories how it got that way. So yeah, history is written by the victors indeed.
Oof. Do your homework, everybody.
Yeah, and not just for the textbooks that you're assigned, because they're Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Anywho.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway.
Oh boy. Anyway, so, always check your sources too. Make sure the stuff you're reading is reliable.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, the two of them continue to have this discussion, where it becomes very clear that, the Tiber family is the one that wields all the power because of Warhammer Titan, to the point where Magath was like, hey, look, the story of our wars is essentially for the newspapers, because all our citizens want to hear is, that we've expanded our borders and that we're doing this and that we're doing this. If our people were the ones that actually had to fight the war,
they wouldn't be so hard to trust.
They would immediately put a stop to this self-destructive path that we are on.
Yeah, so Magath is trying to reinstate the draft for Marley.
Yeah.
Not for Eldians, but for Marley. Like, you want more war? You fight in it.
Again, nuanced characterization for a guy that we looked at and we were like, this guy is a fucking racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, he understands that if they continue down the path that they're on, they will self-destruct as a nation.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, a bit of a nuance there, and
but then it turns into if there really was someone controlling the country from the shadows, I'd tell them it was already too late. Like,
yikes!
And Willie's just there, like,
interesting.
Noted, duly noted. Thank you. Cool.
And that's where Willie comes back with, like, hey, we gave you guys the tools to succeed. You chose the path of destruction.
And we didn't try to stop you. Again, the cool parent approach.
And, but again, to his credit, he goes, this is on all of us. As a result of that, we need to take responsibility, so we have to change things. Mm-hmm. And so a little bit later, the two of them, as they're prepping for the festival, they've got this big stage that's being constructed. I don't know why they couldn't have just done this over at the Tiber's house, why it had to be here while the stage is being constructed. Yeah. But basically,
so the audience can see the stage being constructed.
Yeah, and so Falco and the kids can see it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if Falco's with them at the moment. No, he's not. Gabby is. But anyway, it's so that Magath basically hands over the control of the military. He's like, here you go. All yours, buddy. All yours,
actually,
Willie.
the control of the military is with the person who's running the... And Willie's just like, nah.
Nah, it's yours.
Take it. Good job.
So what Willie chooses to do with the military is yet to be seen. But he has a plan, which now we're at the party, the pre-festival party. And I don't know who the guy is who's initially giving the speech.
Before we pop back over there, do we want to talk about...
We can talk about the kids, yeah.
No, just do we want to talk about, like, the little bit we have with our adult Titan shifters, where it's just, cute little character moments, and then poor Reiner just getting run the fuck over.
Yeah. Let's shift on over to the Titan side of things.
You're reaching. I'll take it.
Whatever, I thought it was fine.
I just said I'll take it.
But yeah, we get a little bit with Peek and Pock, where he gets startled because she is not walking around on two legs. She's in her cart Titan position.
She's so accustomed to being on all fours because she is forced to spend so much time as a Titan that she just does that now.
Well, she's like, oh yeah, no, it's more comfortable this way.
Yeah, this is more natural to me. And he's like, can you walk upright? And I'm like, yeah.
So
it's, okay. And I don't know if our characterization of her is supposed to be just kind of like quirky and sweet. I'm like, I hesitate to categorize that as quirky. Okay, I'm worried about her. Okay.
Well, the second that we got introduced
to
them...
looking at everyone in this show, I'm worried about them.
Yeah, I was going to say, the second we got introduced to her as somebody sweet and supportive, I was immediately like, oh no. Oh no.
Like, oh dear, this is going to be bad
But regardless, it's a fun little character bit between the two of them. And then, yeah, like you said, they're talking about the island, and Reiner is relaying information of like, hey, if we attack here, we're gonna run into this problem. If we
The
attack
south
here,
is heavily fortified. Well, so let's go to the north. Okay, but our ships can't land at the north. They land at the wharf. Okay, so to the south. Okay, but we keep losing our ships in the south, and they might have destroyed the wharf. Well, what are you trying to tell me? I'm just trying to give you the information I have. Well, you're useless. Racist remark. End of meeting.
it's like, I was there for 5 years.
Like, I feel like Reiner doesn't really want to do this.
No.
Hence the back and forth, and it's like, yeah, you know, it is legit to say here's the upsides and here's the downsides of this approach, but it was very much staged almost like a who's on first. And, you know, I can see why the guy receiving the information got frustrated, but,
yeah, on the one hand...
And that's where the empathy stops.
On the one hand, yeah, it could very well just be Reiner going like, there is no way of like going about doing this. On the other hand, it might be like, there's no good way to do this. It's a bad idea. But regardless, nobody on the team thinks that planning is really going all that well. They're like, the people who are in charge are just so well prepared. They're so smart.
Look at how competent the brass are.
Hooray! And they're talking about sort of the folly of trying to rush into this. And Pike makes Pike.
I don't know.
But she makes she makes a remark of like, or by sending 4 kids. And we immediately cut to the 4 kids still in training, where Falco beats Gabby in a foot race.
And everyone's like, ah! Except for Gabby, who's like,
Jacques,
what is this? Why?
Traitor!
I do appreciate that they're having this conversation in front of the guards at the gate, who are not wearing armbands. I'm pretty sure that they are Marleyan.
Yeah.
And just having this back and forth conversation about, well, you're still not going to be better than me.
Yeah,
like,
just
you beat me in 1 foot race. I'm still way ahead of you. Well, but I'm going to keep trying. Why?
Yeah. Why? Why do you keep getting in my way? Your brother already got selected to be the Beast Titan. You're gonna be an honorary Marleyan.
Your
so
family's
why?
set.
Why are you standing in my way? And he goes,
turns around, blushes.
I'm doing it for you! And the guards.
I
can't believe
and Udo and Sophia just like, he said it!
He said it! He said it! But like the guard in particular is just like, he came out and said it! He just said it! Which, talking about the humanization...
All of them watching that like, my ship's gonna be cannon!
Talking about like humanizing everybody in this scenario, they've done a really good job of humanizing these guards who have gotten accustomed to seeing these kids come and go every day.
Well, you know, like you watch something like this go down and you're like, oh yeah, no, they need to get together. I don't know why they're not. Come on, they're both
He clearly has a crush on her.
Why is this not where... So, yeah, no, this is the dude going, my ship's gonna be cannon and I'm so excited. God damn it.
Well, and then she goes, what are you talking about? Like, for me? Then why are you getting in my way? And
everyone just...
It's that gif of just everybody, I think it's from The Naked Gun, just slapping their faces, just like, oh my god.
Like, he said it, and she didn't get it.
Which, to be fair, when I was that age, I also had zero clue about any of the guys who had a crush on me. Over the head.
I still don't. I'm just like, who are you? Stop talking to me.
I'm really bad at picking up on those cues too. I'm so bad. I was really bad in high school, like oblivious. There was one guy on the cross country team who had a major crush on me, and I had zero clue. Anyway.
I just like every time I'm out at a bar and someone does that, I'm like, you'd better be interested in the same thing I'm doing, or I don't want to hear from you. I am here to watch Overwatch League on this TV and chat with the bartenders about it. So if you're not going to talk to me about League, fuck off. the Valiant are playing. Admittedly, that was season 2. That's no longer the case.
Well, for me,
Anyway.
it's like, it was definitely a self-confidence thing when I was younger, but like, Gabby is the exact opposite. It's because she's so
Tunnel vision.
goal-oriented that she's like, what the hell are you talking about? Get out of my way! I've got places to be and things
What
to
the
do.
fuck? What the fuck?
And so,
Leave me alone.
so
What the
the guard goes, oh, she didn't get it. It's fine. Maybe next time, Falco, you'll get it. I believe in you.
like, sure. Again, humanizing the Fire Nation.
But yeah, so that obviously doesn't pan out. But they go, Falco goes off to talk to Aaron, and the rest of the kids go to the festival prep, where they start...
To witness this weird conversation.
Well, to witness the stage construction, and they start talking about the festival and about how, you know, we get a little bit more world building, because Udo, like, kind of mentions, like, hey, you know, this is gonna be really interesting because the people we were just fighting are going to be at this festival.
Well, for start, when they talk about, like, oh yeah, he's gonna make an announcement and it's gonna be great, and Udo's like, yes, and all of our problems will be solved, like, 110% sarcastic.
Yeah,
he's like,
he's
you gotta be fucking
he's a
kidding
lot
me.
more cynical about the way things are, which I think, to his credit, he's right.
Well, and he makes a comment about, my family and I came from an internment zone in a different country. It's much worse there. Like, you think they hate us here? It is so much worse there.
Yeah.
Because here it's, these are the people we're oppressing, and there it's, those are the monsters that help take over our land, our country.
Marley uses them as a commodity, and tools and weapons. But yeah, to everybody else, it's like, oh, these are the things that are constantly, that we are at war with.
Like,
basically.
these are the monsters that we have to fight. Yeah, we know who's running the show, but they are directly here.
Yeah.
This is their fault too.
Yeah, and again, because history written by the winners, then, you know, the
Yeah.
story is the way that Marley
Yeah.
has presented it. But yeah, and so that's an interesting bit of world building, and so Gabby's like, well, you're not going to be helping if you if you keep being so smug about all this. I love her confidence here of like, you be less smug, smile more, and you stop being so weird. What are you talking about?
Sophia's just like, this is just how I am.
This is just how I am.
Just my face.
So what changes are you gonna make? Nothing. I'm perfect. It's like,
I am going to dazzle all of the muckety mucks with my force of personality, and they're back there going, yeah, I think I see a devil, all right? And I will murder you both if you cheer for Falco.
and you're like, oh, yep, she's definitely a demon.
Let's be real. She is a shonen protagonist
Yeah.
in a series that does not reward shonen protagonists. Has no room for any of that. That's not how
Nope.
this works. So she's very much shonen protagonist mentality, determination, etc. in a show where that's not going to get you
This
through.
is the show that had its shonen protagonist eaten alive in episode 5. So,
Admittedly, he got better,
he got better.
but anyone else wouldn't have. Like, it was definitely an audience shocker. Like, and that was the point. It's like, who's our fucking protagonist now? Oh wait, no, it's still Aaron. He lived.
I still remember, like, how absolutely floored I was watching that episode and seeing that Titan's jaws come down. Well, it was really shocking, and yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's why the show was so fun to binge in its first season. I can't imagine having had to wait a week, because I immediately jumped into the next episode.
Look, I saw a gift set of people getting eaten in the first 2 episodes and went, I don't think I'm ever going to watch this show. I am not here for that level of violence. And then you and I were in the same room when you were binging it, and you sat there laughing your fucking face off with your headphones in, and I went, okay, what are you watching? Oh, Attack on Titan. And you're laughing? What just happened?
He just punched himself in the face!
What? And then I was in.
It was
And then I was in. That's what took me.
It was the
Titan
best.
Aaron.
Punching himself in the face.
We know what Katie likes, I guess.
Quit hitting yourself.
Comedy! Hi, comedy!
But yeah, so one of the things that they have to do in order to prep for this is that they're actually attending the pre-festival party as servers.
I would like to say, why don't you have actual servers do this? This is stupid. I get why they're there.
Yeah.
But it's stupid.
They're there for story reasons,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes. That's I get why they're there.
Here's the thing. When I was in high school, I did a lot of volunteer stuff because I was involved in a lot of clubs. So I do understand to a degree why they would be put there. Like, I remember in particular, like, our Habitat for Humanity thing was doing a casino night to, like, raise money. And so all of us little Habitat for Humanity members got dressed up and we went to the place where they were holding it, and we like dealt cards and like cleaned up tables, things like that.
When people got mad at you for dealing blackjack because you were happy when you won as the house?
Yeah, I was
Perfect.
a really terrible blackjack dealer.
Oh,
I cheered
perfect.
every time I won, and they're like, no, you don't. The house isn't happy when the house wins. You're not supposed to be happy.
This is a happy
like,
house.
And I was like, but I won.
Our
I
house
win.
is a very, very, very fine house with 2
But-
cats in the yard. Bring
But
the
point
cats
being,
inside. Don't let your cats out.
I could see why, from a particular standpoint, especially if, like, this is a party being hosted by a very politically powerful Eldian, I could and I'm not quite sure what he's gunning to do tomorrow, but I could see the idea behind bringing them in to be like, hey, these are all the go-getter kids in our warrior program, and see, aren't they so nice? They're serving you now, as opposed to, shooting at you.
Is that yes, putting them front and center in front of all these people who are just so happy to see
who have been recently at war with this country.
Yeah.
That being said, again, I think mostly they're there for story purposes.
Well, and it goes well right until the straight up out and out racism from a couple of people.
Yeah, and
It always goes well until the racism.
And sadly, as a result of some of those offhanded comments, Udo accidentally runs into a woman in a kimono and spills wine on her dress.
And I mean, red wine on white fabric. It's just one of those
And we don't know who this lady is. She's from an area known as Hizuru, I think is
they
it?
gave us a name, but I don't remember.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
I wrote down the name of the place. But
this is also the first time that we have seen an Asian woman, presumably Japanese because of her dress, since Mikasa.
yeah, well, outside of Mikasa and her mother. Yeah. So, so again, it's we see residents from all over the world at this party.
We see people of color for the first time in an while.
Yeah. Yeah, with the exception of Mikasa, who is like the only character of color within the main cast. Yeah, this is the first time we get to see other people of color outside of that initial fight in the first episode of this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so he spills wine on her dress, and she clearly had a lot of empathy for him because she immediately comes to his rescue, grabs the wine glass, and goes, "Oh, this young man was helping me."
And she's telling him, don't freak out, it's fine, don't freak out. And he's trying not to freak out. Oh, miss, is everything okay? Yes, I spilled wine on my dress and I was asking for help.
Yep. Oh, clumsy me.
Okay, well, please come with me and we'll get you taken care of. And he goes, why did you help me? And she says, who knows what they would have done to you. It's like, yeah, this is why I'm sitting here going, why did you make them servers?
So we can
Having-
have this scene.
Oh yeah, no,
honestly.
absolutely. But having done the serving thing, shit happens, you guys. I walked out of one of my shifts covered shoulder to shins in applesauce.
I mean, yeah,
Shit happens.
you hire cocktail waiters. like you're throwing a fancy shindig, you hire people for that. You hire
So, yeah,
caterers.
again, like, we get why for story reasons, but logistically,
maybe don't. And maybe
logistically,
don't.
nah.
Maybe let the kids go home and go to bed.
But yeah, that's basically all we get from the kids is Udo's extremely close call.
But we get more mingling at the party. Willie is the talk of the town. Everyone knows this guy and everyone loves him.
I haven't seen you since we grew up. Oh, hey, remember when we did this thing? Oh, it's been forever. Like, he knows all of these people.
Yeah.
Again, super high charisma score.
And yeah, he's friendly with everybody regardless of their race or nationality. Like, he's friends with everybody.
And the implication here is that people have traveled from all over the world.
Yeah, and that he's known them since they were all kids. So again, like, the Tiber family has been involved in world affairs for a long time.
I mean, so has Marley with this whole war and conquer thing.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're kind of looking at a whole the sun never sets on the British Empire idea.
Yikes. Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yep.
But yeah, so then I don't even know who this guy is supposed to be.
I don't
But
either. He's just some dude.
Some Marleyan higher up decides to make a toast and decides to do a little joke about, like, oh, hey, you know, yesterday's enemy is today's enemy. Oh, silly me. I mean, yesterday's enemy is today's friend.
I
so
also think
cheers.
he's drunk as fuck. And he's just like, yeah, the toast to whatever, like peace or something. And just crickets, man. Everyone looked like they would murder a man with their eyes.
The reactions to his yesterday's enemy is today's enemy joke it ranges from, like, outright fear to people looking like they're restraining themselves from going and attacking him at that exact moment.
I'm honestly not sure if that was like, that read to me as a drunken slip up.
I mean, maybe.
Regardless, not good.
Regardless of whether it was a slip of the tongue or a genuine attempt at humor.
It was not good.
No, it was not great. It was pretty terrible. And so Willie comes to the rescue.
Images taken right before disaster.
You know what? It probably
Almost.
was a drunken slip up because Willie comes in and goes, "Oh, you and your jokes." And the guy looks so confused when he comes up.
He just does so what, you know, he tries so hard to welcome everyone, and what a great joke to warm everyone up. Let's give him a hand. All right, hi everyone, the main act is here now.
Everyone, yeah, Willie, woo, we love you. Like, literally, the atmosphere changes just like that. And so Willie goes like, hey, I've got a special announcement tomorrow, which earlier in the episode he said he was going to reveal the truth to everybody about the truth behind what happened at the end of the war and everything like that. And he's like, I'm going to reveal the truth, and that's going to be that.
We're gonna do it tomorrow. It's gonna be in like any toast to like playwrights and historians. I'm like, is this gonna be like, what have you been calling it?
And that's right. Tomorrow it will be a show for the ages. My one-man show of our town.
That's good. Just one of those moments of, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay.
I think I've only ever seen one-person show. And I gotta be honest, I was not super on board with it, but that was because, like, it was something I had to watch when I was in high school.
One-man shows are
very difficult.
You have to nail them. Anything less than perfection is a flop because it's all on you.
Wait, does stand-up comedy count as a one-man show?
I don't think so, because I think a one-man show is a little more
acting. Like, I'm doing
stand-up
narrative
comedy
and multiple characters, and I am in the acting
zone. A one-man show, the fourth wall is intact.
Yeah.
Whereas for stand-up comedy, you can play off of people.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen people talk about John Mulaney shows, he does this all the
Talking
time.
to Lucy.
That, and then like someone told a story, like at one point someone in the front row, it was a couple, and the guy got up and left to like go get a drink or something, and he stopped the show and went to the girl and went, what's his name, it's like something like, oh, he says, all right, everybody, later on in the show, after he comes back, I'm gonna say something, and you guys are all gonna like, I'm gonna say like, and that's how we do it in Florida, or just something, just some apropos line, and you guys are all gonna laugh, okay? So like 20 minutes later, he does that, everyone laughs, and then he turns to the guy who is missing and he goes, and you don't get the joke because you left, Bob! Or something like that. Like stand-up comedy, I hesitate to say you live or die by the crowd, but you really can get into it with them. And you don't do that with a one-person show.
I mean, all live acting, you play off of the audience to a degree, or you can play off the audience to a degree. Like each individual audience can give the performer their own individual energy. But again, like you were saying, it's a different approach and it's a different style when it's stand up versus I'm performing this narrative all on my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
While not acknowledging that the audience is there.
Regardless, so this might well be a one-man show of our town.
Which, not gonna lie, if Willie's gonna do our town, I'm here for it.
But it sounds like it's going to be something that might be, you know, a little jazzed up, a little fictionalized to make it go down a little easier, but still...
I worry about what
That's
he's
this
actually...
whole season.
Yeah.
I worry.
Well, I worry about what he's actually planning on doing because he's been given the power of the military. He says that, like, it's his responsibility to do what all of his ancestors refused to, or all of the people in the Tiber family refused to do. The responsibility they refused to take on. They were just happy to live in luxury.
He grabbed the wheel and he wishes he could let go.
And so
from what we see in the preview, because the previews are like 30 seconds long and just give you bits and bobs, we see, a little bits of him being on stage and like tears in his eyes and very dramatic, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. But we also see shots of military people, some of our named characters, and some what looks like foot soldiers or guards kind of looking concerned and talking to each other. It's like, okay, that's cool. One fear.
At the moment, Magath is the only person aware of his plans.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if the truth behind the tale, or I'm wondering about, like, when he says he's planning on telling everybody the truth tomorrow, if that's going to involve maybe dismantling the Marleyan view of how history was written.
I'll take it.
But then he has the military at his disposal, so anybody who's upset about it can immediately can sit down. So I'm concerned about what he's planning on doing. I feel like he's well written and nuanced enough to, like, okay, I don't necessarily think he's gonna go like full war, like where I'm gonna take over the world. What I'm concerned with,
he's not gonna go full Jingo.
What I'm concerned that he's going to do is, I'm concerned that he's going to be like, hey, in order to unite the world against a common enemy and stop Marley from this self-destructive path, I'm here to unite the world against everybody on that island. And then we can all be friends and we can all be happy. And all we have to do is defeat this one bad guy,
Wild.
That's a thought.
Oh my god. That'd be nuts.
He wouldn't be the first. I'm making a wild assumption about what his actual motives are, but he seems to want to change things and uniting the world against a common enemy. He wouldn't be the first fictional character in history to take an extreme approach in order to do that. I'm thinking specifically of Watchmen. No spoilers for Watchmen.
Either version, because yes, we know they're different.
They're very different.
So we have
I don't
have
know.
whatever that winds up being.
Do you?
I don't have
Any
anything.
thoughts?
I'm just gonna wait and see.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards because I could be very wrong. I could be very wrong in that regard.
Dude is multi-classed as a bard and probably a rogue.
Yeah. Also,
He's a sneaky, charismatic fuck.
he just got here, so I'm like, "What's your deal?"
Yeah, like, you're new for this season. What the fuck?
And we've spent so much time humanizing Reiner and the other Shifter Titans that I'm like, okay, that's obviously that conflict is still going to come to a head at some point, and it's going to be devastating. But maybe the point of bringing in more people and introducing the Warhammer Titan is to give us more of a central antagonist.
Maybe.
Or, yeah, I don't know. Or maybe even give Reiner and company a reason to set aside, grievances and team up with the team. Like, not that I think that that's a thing that could happen at this particular point, but who knows?
Yeah.
Depending on what he wants to declare to, like, at the show, it's hard to say. That's what I'm guessing. I have no idea if I'm right. That's what I'm guessing.
I got nothing. I'm just here for the show.
Yeah.
Speaking of the show, we got a festival.
Yeah, festival!
I
almost forgot about the festival because of all this other stuff.
Cute little montages like this. I love that we get to see the kids just be kids, and I want all of the food they showed.
Yes, because it's a world festival, they get to experience foods that they've never gotten to see before because
I don't think any of them have ever been to a festival before because all of these people came into the internment district and just went, hey, we're setting up camp here. The festival's here. Well, along with the
even
stage.
Gabby says, this is a festival?
Yeah.
So yeah. And not to mention Falco literally shoving ice cream into her face. And she's like,
you're
amazing!
Ah!
And so they go around trying all the different kinds of foods. R.I.P. Reiner's wallet.
Reiner always winds up paying for everything, and you could just...
It's really funny, too, because the kids all, like, look up and they give puppy dog eyes to their warrior counterparts. And so, of course, Reiner, who I guess can't turn down his cousin's puppy dog face. Reiner's one weakness. But yeah, he keeps ending up having to pay for food, and it's very funny. But ultimately, it makes Gabby smile, and so he smiles too, and it's just like...
And then he has to drag her off because she's just ill from
she's
eating
too much. She's gotten sick.
I feel this at festivals.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
Festival good. And her just being dragged off and going, this was so great. You know, a lot of crazy things have been happening recently. I really feel like something's about to change. And Reiner's like, yeah, they have, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off for a cliffhanger.
Yeah. And we go from that to setting up the stage and where's Falco? Oh, he said he saw someone he knew. Falco comes back, Reiner, come with me. Come meet my friend.
And Zeke's like, yeah, you got time. Go say hi to my bro.
Go say hi.
Or, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Half-brother.
Half-brother. But yeah, it was like, oh, the thing's gonna start. Oh, I got some time until it starts. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, go do your thing.
Okay. Like, no one has any reason to mistrust Falco.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, go off with the child. And then, oh, this is bad.
So yeah, it's a really great hook to end this kind of lighter episode.
Again, this is the post-credit scene because the credits start playing when Gabby's talking about, oh, it feels like something's gonna change. It feels different, and we kind of like fade into the credits on that. And then we're watching this on Verve, and it's not starting to preview the next episode yet, and we're like, there's a post-credit scene. Usually, it spends the last like 30 seconds previewing the next episode.
Yeah,
but something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then, surprise, bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I cannot wait. I mean, we've been waiting for these two to come face to face again ever since they made their escape at the end of the last volume. Damn it, I said volume!
Close enough, you know.
But yeah, and Reiner is clearly a very, very different character than the the one we left off with.
He's even more traumatized.
Yeah. I mean, well, also, and he's had 4 years of warfare under his belt now, too.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're like, yeah, these two pictures, they're the same.
Yeah. No, that Venn diagram overlap is a circle.
Yeah.
We already kind of gave our predictions at the top of the episode.
Yeah. So,
Oh boy.
any other thoughts on this one?
Nope.
Nope.
This was, yep.
This is a lot.
Hell of a bridge episode. Hello, all these new people. Shit's gonna go down.
On that note, Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias and on YouTube and Twitch. Brain.
No, right there with you, man.
At Kiaxet, that is Kiaxet. If you like reaction videos to Rooster Teeth products, other things, etc., they live on that YouTube channel. I am also on an Overwatch and Overwatch League podcast called On the Point. We are currently on hiatus because the season's in the off season, but we're starting again on April 16th, so we should come back around that time. And oh, the off season has been bug nuts, you guys. So it's gonna be wild.
And I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Did you toss to your other channel, right?
I did.
Cool. Yeah, I was getting
My
ready.
only channel?
I was getting ready to go into the Silver Screams bit. Like, I have a YouTube channel called Silver Screams. You're currently watching it. But I have a Lost retrospective podcast called No Love Lost, or my co-host Will Link loves Lost, and I don't, and we talk about it. And if you want to hear us talk about the aforementioned Rooster Teeth related stuff, head on over to Rooster Team Radio on your podcast app of choice and check out Rooster Team Radio. Right now we're talking about Ruby. This volume, it's coming to
Volume is insane.
Yeah, this volume is getting ready to wrap up, and stuff is crazy, and I'm really excited about it.
So many more than one fear.
Ruby and the Magnus Archives are ending on the same week. At least Ruby, it's a season finale, not a series finale, but I'm gonna be wrecked that weekend.
Wait. Yeah, that's the same weekend Titan ends.
All of them are ending on the same weekend?
I mean, 28th.
Shoot!
It's the 17th now, so the 18th now. So,
Shoot.
10 days.
Shoot. Well. I don't think we're going to be caught up by then.
We can try.
We'll try, but I don't think we're going to make it. But anyway, be sure to follow Silver Screams at Silver_Screams. Like us on Facebook, all that jazz. We want to know what you thought about this week's episode. However, again, no spoilers for anything past episode 63. Please, 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 don't
Be kind.
Don't do that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Real quick, we have one more announcement before we go.
We end with the important things. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Wear a mask. It's a sign of compassion. It protects other people a lot and you a little, so wear a mask. And also get vaccinated, because a lot of us can do that now, and we should definitely do that.
Yes.
Get vaccinated.
If you are eligible, please go get vaccinated.
Don't line jump. Don't line jump.
No.
That's bullshit. But if you are in a place where you can get vaccinated, do it. Yes, support your essential workers. They do not have the choice to stay at home. They are dealing with a lot of people who may not be the kindest people on the planet right now. So be patient with your essential workers. Support them. That includes your postal workers. The post office is still dealing with some bullshit right now. So, be chill, be patient, show some compassion. That's how we get through this. Black Lives Matter. Black Trans Lives Matter. Black LGBTQIA Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. And Asian Pacific AAPI lives matter as well. That hasn't changed. It's not going to change. AAPI lives matter. Black lives matter. Chill. Yeah. Yes. Contact your politicians. Remember to vote in your local elections. Even if you think it doesn't concern you, even if it's like, well, I'm not a parent and it's a school board election. Do your research. Vote anyway, because you can make the changes you want to see locally, and then they trickle up, and your state people become federal people, and your federal people run for vice president, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit. The California experience. So, vote in your local elections, contact your representatives. If they are doing something you like, tell them, be specific. If they're doing something you don't like, tell them, be specific, and then tell them what you want them to do. They work on feedback, and they represent you, so make sure that they know what you want. Do all those lovely things, remember to vote in your local elections. Wear a mask. And please wear a mask. We're not done yet. Gotta keep doing it. And take care of each other. That's what a lot of these boil down to, is take care of each other. It's the only way we're gonna get through this. And remember that we love you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.